Maybe today you would.
All ready? Yep. Let's call this meeting to order and have a roll call, please.
Genslinger.
Here.
Jursa.
Here.
Sonny.
Here.
Penny. Larson.
Here.
Osherlu.
Here.
Molumby.
Here.
Allen.
Here.
You have a quorum.
All right, the agenda has been provided, but let's talk about any conflicts of interest before we look at it too hard. Anybody got anything on there that, they're gonna have a question about? Number 14. Okay. Anything else? Hearing none, the agenda has been presented. Is there any additions or corrections to look at there? Hearing none, I assume that we are ready to approve that agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the agenda be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. You got who? I got Larry. I got, Maloney and, okay. We had double seconds, but that's okay.
That's right, I concede. Yeah.
Hearing no further discussion on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, same thing. Motion carried. The minutes of March 22nd meeting were provided. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I assume you're ready for a motion. Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the minutes be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Next meeting, time for the next meeting should be April 26th. Any conflicts there? If I hear none, we are ready for motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that the blank for the next meeting, April 26th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Conditional use permit, Great Cherry Road at 409 South Wallace Street. Have applied for a backyard variance of 7 feet versus 25 to required for construction of a attached garage at 409 South Wallace, legally described as parcel A and lot A of section 23, P103 north, R60 west of the 5th parallel meridian, Davidson County, South Dakota, and lot 3, block 6 of Sunnybrook Estate, city of Metro, Davidson County, South Dakota. The property is zoned R2 family residential district. Dr. Lucia, what's going on there?
Okay, I'm going to just give you the background, and I don't know if Mr. Brose, he's here, so I'll probably fill in the blanks where I'm at, what I miss out. So, on page 7, there is a annexation petition that will be before the council at their next meeting. That drawing that you see right there is a certificate, a surveyor's affidavit, identifying parcel A that you saw in the legal description. Now that parcel is not in the city limits at this time, and so he has purchased that from a different party, and then so to construct the attached garage so that he would meet the side yard setback. However, because it doesn't go as completely back to all the way his property, he's not going to meet the backyard setback, and I'll let him explain why that's not possible or there. So that's the reason on page 7, so that they're going to, so if you're wondering why they're there, he's going to be annexing that parcel as well. So, and then page 8 is the same drawing you see, and you can kind of see the drawing of his parcel is basically kind of come out to the west, to the south, excuse me, and going to the center. So, other than that, I don't know what else I can tell you. Mr. Brose is here. Yep.
Yeah, the little parcel that I purchased there, I was hoping to purchase the whole length of my lot, but the gentleman I purchased it from would not sell me the whole length. He would only sell me the portion I needed for the garage.
backyard would be a use.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I say the backyard then would become, that's why you're here.
Right, that's correct.
Okay?
He meets the front yard and now he'll meet the side yard.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
Well, that's all trees in there anyhow, is that right?
No, there's, the portion I purchased has very little trees on it.
Oh, okay.
kind of see where I identified there with the parcel A.
All right. Any questions?
How big is the garage you're putting up there?
It'll be 30 feet wide by 36 feet deep.
It's gonna be offset the house a little bit,
Yeah, from the,
beside the house.
yeah, from the back corner of the house, it'll be in 3 feet, and from the front corner of the house, it'll be also in 3 feet.
That's where it says parcel
Okay.
A. So he's doing a conditional use and a variance here, or?
No, he's just doing the variance, but he's gonna be annexing that property. He said parcel A is not in the city limits at this point. So you can't build on something that crosses without it being in the city. So that's why it's simultaneous to it.
Well, it's all gotta come in and
Correct, he's gonna bring parcel A in on Monday with him.
All right. You see an issue. Backyard is.
Just so that they can,
Yeah.
know why that's coming out like that.
So you couldn't have got that extra little, just to meet setbacks in?
Nope.
Sold that?
The guy that owned it would not sell me that additional land.
Well, did he know the garage size that you were building?
Yes, he knew what I was purchasing the land for.
Sounds to me he's got a deal. He
Yeah.
can purchase less land, still gets
Yeah.
what he wants. I'll make the motion to approve the variance.
Moved and seconded that the variance be approved as presented. Actually, it's conditional use, but
No, it's a variance.
variance, okay.
The agenda list says, additional
Oh,
use.
I do on the cover sheet, sorry.
Well, that's why I was kinda wondering what's going on, you know, so.
Okay, all right.
Variance. Huh?
The variance.
It's a variance, yes. No, that's,
Yeah, just on the side.
I was wondering if you were gonna go for some,
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I assume we're ready to go. Let's go roll call, please.
Harrison?
Yes.
Honey?
Yes.
Maloney?
Yes.
Osterlin?
yes,
Engler?
yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Okay, council will hear this Monday night.
All right, next item.
Thank you.
Variance for Darren Ritchie, 801 Wisconsin. And applied for a side yard on a corner variance of 13 feet versus 20 feet as required, and a height variance of 25 versus 22 as required to construct a detached garage at 801 East Hanson, legally described as Lot 6, Block 5, Applegate Edition, City of Mitchell, Davis County, South Dakota. Property zones are 2 single family. Neil, talk to us.
Okay, what's before you is on, for some reason, the site plan, there's no, it didn't, was in there. You know, but. Yeah, check that. Really? Okay, all right.
did I represent that correctly?
Right now, my existing garage sits on the alley property line with the eave, and then on the west side, it is 1.5 feet off of my property.
Actually making it.
Square with the world, in other words.
Huh?
I say it's not square with the world, in other words.
No. But I have the property marked out now, and I was actually just marking it out last night, somewhat of it, but I didn't get as far as I wanted to. But the garage will sit 12 foot off of the alley. It'll be 11 foot to the eave, and then it'll sit 4 foot off of the east property line. So,
How wide's your lot?
50 foot.
So you're tearing that garage down, putting a new one up? What size?
If 32 by 45. I plan to move the garage, and that'll all be basically concrete for the most part of it. Otherwise, I have to obviously add on to the garage, but I plan to move or dispose of the garage, open up the alleyway.
Do you enter the garage from the street or the alley?
The one that it'll be the street. This one's the street too, but you can't even get a vehicle in, it's so close to the street, and bumpers hit and everything else, so.
So your existing garage basically is what you're saying, is gonna go away?
Yep, if I can, yeah.
Hopefully you can sell it, otherwise it's gonna disappear some other way.
Right,
Yeah, all right, I got the picture.
so.
Any other questions? We have several letters that indicate that we shouldn't let you do that, I believe.
So I think we understand the side and backyard variances. What about the height variance that you're asking for?
My sidewalls on I've got a picture on my phone, but the sidewalls will only be 12 foot high from the alleyway to I'm doing 2-story on 18 foot of that 45 foot.
That's where the concern is with the neighbors, is the commercial use of that garage. At least, that's what they're implying.
Okay.
There's a discussion here. If we're not hearing any, we are ready for motion.
What kind of traffic will you have through there? You're running a shop out of there?
I'm not gonna be running a shop,
You're not, okay.
so.
So no business?
I do my own personal mechanic-wise stuff, but I do plumbing on the side, but I
No
don't,
customers coming to your
no. So,
All right, we have someone who would like to talk to us.
Hey, Jay, this is also, this property is also a nuisance property for the city of Mitchell. So,
Again, please.
this is also a nuisance property for the city of Mitchell, so that has no bearing on it, just to let you guys know that.
Yeah,
I have a lot of stuff and too small of a garage, obviously, so.
Any other comments or questions?
but we don't deal with the nuisance part. We don't want it, so.
But the new garage, bigger garage is gonna help with the new.
Everything will end up being inside, so. I mean, I got mowers and, things like that, obviously.
I would just make sure that it's in the minutes that what the gentleman's asking for is if the variance goes through, the old garage does go away. Because when I used to come back and bite us a little bit, that happened years ago, that this garage, this other building's gonna leave, it ended up not leaving.
It's slid over to another part or something.
Well, no, it stayed on a project until it sold.
Oh,
Well, it's only goes if this garage goes away.
The
If you
gr-
guys grant it.
If it's granted, the garage will be removed before construction even starts.
See on the minutes, right?
Okay.
so the concrete drive is on the west side of it, and will you be blocking the sidewalk then if you put parking?
What?
If you park your vehicles in front of your garage door, you're gonna be blocking the sidewalk.
If it's a big truck, then, so, but right now you would be too. So,
What's your pleasure, guys? One more comment.
Even if you were to park on the sidewalk, that's a violation of the ordinance. So that has no bearing on it at all, but it just, if he parks over the sidewalk, that's against city ordinance anyway, so.
Right, but people do that.
We've
And
had a couple.
they do get ticketed by the PD for that too.
We've had a couple of variances in the past couple of years that we've asked them to locate the garage such that they can park and not block the sidewalk, so that's where that question comes from.
Correct.
yeah, the 12-foot in between the alley, I'm actually keeping for parking as well, for, you know, trailer or whatever it may be, so.
All right. It's up to us to decide what we wanna do, guys, or what we wanna recommend the council to do, actually.
But there's no way that you could, reduce your size just in order to meet the setback.
I'd have to enter off the alley and shove it closer to the house, because
Well,
in order to get a large vehicle in, or anything, you'd
but
have
you
to-
could meet the setbacks then, correct?
It'd be really hard,
Well,
so.
but that's what we got the setbacks for. I mean, if it's, I know this is what you want, but if we got setbacks, I mean, if you could do it that way, you know.
So, because I had a 20-foot setback off my property line, that leaves 30 foot total, then you got 4 foot on the other side if you got a 1-foot eve, I mean, you're down to 26 foot, with the other eve, you're down to 25 foot interior walls, and so.
We understand. Let's go with the motion, gentlemen.
I'd make a motion to recommend approval with the requirement that the existing garage is removed.
Do I hear a second? I'll second. Is there discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's go roll call. Yep. Bosco,
No.
Henry,
Yes.
Tursa. Yes. Sonny. Yes. Maloney. Yes. Larson. Yep. Council here Monday night. All right, next item. Variance for Abbott House at 1001 South Main Street. Has applied for a side yard on a corner variance of 8 feet versus 20 feet as required to construct a detached garage at 1001 South Main Street, legally described as lots 1, 2, and the north 50 feet of lot 3, block 14, University of Mission, City of Mitchell, Davis County, South Dakota. The property is zoned R3, medium density residential district.
Okay, what's before you on page 19 is a drawing of a schematic of what they're planning on doing. Kind of, this is their plan for the whole property. So, that garage that you see indicated there in the kind of half brown is the new, and it's going to have about a 3-foot difference between the garage and the existing building. There's a little gap there. And so when they proposed this, that you can kind of see back to the aerial that there's an actual right-of-way that's there. And they had it drawn out, and it's approximately going to be about 8 feet from that property, or from the property line. Once that existing garage that's there is going to disappear. So they're going to construct a new one there, and it's going to be about 8 feet off of the property line, the blue, which you see there. Again, it's a gravel right-of-way. You can kind of see where the power lines are there. So again, you know, the aerial can be a little bit deceiving, but that's what when they scaled it out, that's what they found it is, what they're going to be. So. I don't know if anybody's here for that. There was no neighborhood objection. Actually, look, I think the one that's there might be even a little closer than,
Closer than what they're asking for.
they did have it surveyed, so they know exactly what it is.
Any other questions for Neil? Nobody's here to talk about it, so it's up to us to make a recommendation to the council. We are deciding on this, right?
I believe it just, I don't see that it says on there. I want to say, my understanding was a two-stall.
Did they come in any drawings with you, for you, John?
No.
Nothing yet?
Well, we gotta meet zoning first, we can't get past zoning, there's no need for me to draw.
Well, there's been in the past.
They're not using it for cars, are they?
Oh, I don't,
It's used for craft, some kind of craft room or something, telling me.
well, I don't know.
I was thinking maybe equipment storage, because
Activities room or something, they said.
No, they're not attaching.
No, you got a 3-foot, but we don't know how big it is, right?
Yeah, I know it met the, because I remember Jim Radke brought it in. It's well under 2,000 square, and this was the only issue that he had, was the side yard setback.
Well, we know they're gonna do the 8 foot
Right,
to, from the north, so.
yeah. And I remember going over with Jim, and so this was the drawing that they, it was well under 2,000 square.
It wasn't real big. 22 by 24, 25 by 6.
Well, right, yeah.
what's the pleasure, folks?
I made a motion to approve.
Moved and seconded that the variance be approved. Is there a discussion on that motion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote, assuming let's go roll call again, Neil. And one of you guys first should probably talk to them and tell them bring something in, so.
I'll find
A
out.
little more information than what we particularly had.
I'll find out the size,
Yeah.
because this came from the Abbott House.
So they're gonna bring that before they go to the council?
Yeah, I'll
So
find
we
out what the
just-
size.
We're just gonna give them, okay, go ahead.
I'll find out the size.
Well,
Better on that block either, than North Block.
Yeah, that's just kind of open right in there, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why, originally they come and thought they had all this room and then they don't. There's no curb cut boulevard there.
Yeah. All right, we're ready to vote? Neil, go please.
Okay. Enslinger,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Malumbi,
Yes.
Sunny,
Yes.
Jursa,
Yes.
Osterlin.
Well, I didn't like the process of this, so I'm gonna say no.
Is that it?
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. A variance for Muller Lumber at 804 and 806 West Pine. They applied for a backyard variance of 24 feet versus 25 required for construction of twin home detached garage at 804 and 806 West Pine Avenue, legally described as lot 5 and west 42 feet of lot 4, block 6, MLC addition, a subdivision of lot 4A, Morning View addition, city of Metro, South Dakota. The property is zoned for planned development district.
Okay, you can see on page 26 is a rendering of a duplex that is being proposed there. As you can kind of see on the back, on the left-hand corner there, on the top where it says 24.56, we kind of just rounded it to 24. And as you know, it probably might be off a little bit further on the other side, so that's what they're proposing is in the backyard setback. And then on page 31, you can kind of see it doesn't show up very well on the aerial, but you can kind of see where this is located there, where you can see it's on lot 5 and part of 4. And so that's where this is located, and meets all the other setbacks. I don't know if Mr. Mueller or somebody up here got questions of him, so we just rounded it to 24. He's actually getting pretty close, so.
Where does Mr. Swenson live? Will do this?
I believe it's to the north. Yeah, other than that, nobody else responded.
To the north and to the east.
Oh, I take it
one.
back. Ms. Quinzer did.
He's kitty corner there, 725. Yeah.
Comments or questions?
We're talking 6 inches here.
Yeah. And we're talking, this is probably the only unit that's gonna be in area too.
It's hard to say. That's the reason I just round them down, just to make real
Yeah.
sure.
Mr. Mueller, do you have anything to comment for us?
Not really, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a plot plan as well as a bird's eye view of the project, and we have about 24 foot 5 inches of space there, and we're required to have 25 foot. So we're just requesting an additional 1 foot of setback.
Okay.
Was there nowhere in the plan you could take 6 inches out?
But where do we go, huh? Suppose we cut the overhang down 6 inches, but
2x4 walls instead of 2x6 walls or something?
what's that?
2x4s instead of 2x6s?
No, we're not gonna do that.
I'll leave the 2x6s in there, that makes it a lot
Yep.
quieter in one house.
Well, you
Not
can leave
just
out the
spray foam
gutters.
Exterior walls.
What's that?
You can leave out the gutters and
No,
you got
no,
8
we
inches.
don't wanna do that either. It rains around here occasionally.
I think we're ready for a motion. Anybody got one? Move approved. Second. Moved and seconded that the variance be approved. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to go. Let's go roll call like we've been doing, Neil, please.
Okay. Sunny,
Yes.
Palumbi, Larson,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Kinslinger,
Yes.
and Jursa.
Yes. Carrie.
Okay, thank you.
Conditional use permit for Paul Gronowig at 1101 Commerce Street. Mr. Gronowig has applied for a conditional use permit to construct a building housing a child care preschool at 1101 Commerce Street, legally described as Lot 5B, Block 7, Westwood First Edition, and subdivision of southwest quarter of Section 16, T103 North, R60 west of the 5th parallel meridian, city of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota. The property is zoned PWC, transportation warehouse and commercial district, and this is a conditional use in that area.
Okay, you got some renderings of the plans that were submitted to me on pages 33 through 36. And then you may recall, just a meeting or two ago, there's a plat of that area where it's identified on the aerial on page 39 as 1101. So that's what this is for. Basically, what they're going to be housing is the Head Start building, or they're going to be moving from the North Kimball complex into this. So this would require a conditional use permit. So that's what's going to be occupying this. I believe the Grunweg construction is still going to remain ownership of the property. That's my understanding. But that's what it's for, and this use would require it in the TWC district.
So is this already been, the foundation in and the plumbing?
It's really was a spec building, and then when he comes, and here's my first client, and I'm going, well, wait a minute. Then I got to look with Neil, and it's a conditional use. So I did run him through a full review for it, dead ends, and if he builds it, he has to have extra doors, he has to have a bathroom, he has to have assembly area, the fire rating, so all the egress for a student, basically it's a school, because the children are greater than the age of 2.5, so they're ambulatory, but it's only up to, it's not, if you go for the 12th grade, you have to treat that the same. And he's 4,515 square feet, he's not over 5,000, and that's with the covered entry there on the east side, I added space as well. So it's kind of putting through the ringer pretty hard, but that's where you gotta do it. Yep. What about the traffic patterns in the area, is that gonna cause a problem?
Well, you got the Coke plant there, and
Got the gymnastics place right next door.
Yeah, so hopefully everything is
What's the cutoff for needing stamped drawings? Is that 5,000 in this
5,000.
facility?
but he didn't know what he was gonna use this for before he gave him a building permit.
When we started to get the building plans together, then his first client come along, and had the state, kids, when they want one in town, they need one, and instead of going into a retrofit old building downtown or somewhere else, they like the new building. Because then they can build everything exactly where they want it, off the code, up to stuff, yeah. They did one, I talked to the gentleman Morrow in Yankton, they did one in Yankton, and they retrofitted, and it was tough, and they had a lot of. Yeah, as long as he's building new, he's gonna be better off. The occupancy is such that he does not need a sprinkler, and then therefore, that's why he also added all the extra egress. Every classroom will have a door directly to the outside from this class, they don't have to go in the hallway down. And I think the most, that one class is 4 or 5. That's really small from my experience working with them over the years. Well, you gotta divide it by X amount of square feet per person, I think the biggest classroom is like 16 to 20, maximum, but then they're not even having, yeah. That's why I say they're gonna be 4 to 5 kids probably. They can have up to 50 without, they got one that exits directly outside, and travel distance is less than 20 feet. It's an excellent program. Been around a lot of years. And the spec book onto the state is unbelievable. Yeah, it's a lot. They're basically 100% federally funded, so 99% of that stuff that's in that state book is the feds telling them what they gotta do. Any questions there?
Yeah, no sprinkler, you said at all? Nothing?
Well,
No,
you gotta be over 100, or fire or over 300 per E. Is it, you can't call it daycare in I, because the children are over the age of 2 to 2.5. And basically, this is a small school, but per code, you have to treat it as an E. If you go above the 12th grade, then it's a B business or profit. And it's denied, it's either one of those. So, and there's an age limit on, what children can qualify for Head Start, and it's basically a preschool or for remedial kids up to a first grade level. So, we're not talking about high school kids or middle school kids or anything here. We're talking about pretty young children that are gonna be involved in this program. And there's gonna be a lot of one-on-one stuff going here too.
So what size lot was this? I mean, you got parking and all, I mean, what do you
Yeah,
got here for
we-
drain?
He only needed a handful of parking because there's only,
And mostly, these will be staff people that are there. Kids will come, mom will drop them off, or dad will drop them off, or a babysitter will drop them off. At least, and I worked with Head Start program in another life, and, it was back a long time ago.
The other tough part about this lot, and correct me, Joe, if I'm wrong, I think there's a 20-foot easement on one side and a 27-foot easement on the other side. So for anybody coming to here, commercial, I'm good on it.
He's gonna have a nice lawn, 27 feet on one side and 20 on the other, isn't he? All right. Do I hear a motion?
second the conditional use.
Who's the second to the conditional use, that we recommend the conditional use permit be approved? Is there discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we're ready to vote. Neil, let's go roll call again. We've been doing so successfully with that today.
Malumbi,
Yep.
Larson,
Yep.
Genslinger,
Yes?
Osterloo,
Yes.
Jursa,
Yes.
Sonny. Malumbi. Oh, there, got you, sorry.
All right, next item on the agenda is a block of Lot 8, Block 4A, a subdivision of Block 4 in Westwood First Edition in the northwest quarter of Section 16, 10360 of the west of the fifth parallel meridian, city of Mission, Davidson County, South Dakota.
There's a rendering of this plat on page 40. You can kind of see it just pretty much follows the master plan out there. And as you can see which ones are platted and which ones are not yet platted, you can see that they're getting more and more of them are platted than less. So I guess my understanding it'll probably be another duplex.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, a plat of Lot 7, in the replat of Tract A, Wildwood Golf Subdivision to the city of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota.
Again, there's a copy of this plat it's on page 44. You can kind of see where the easements. We did get the elevation certificate with it. So.
Nothing going on there that's not unusual, is it?
You can kind of see it pretty much follows the plan.
Move to approve.
Second?
Moved and seconded that the plat be approved as provided, as proposed. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. All right. Item 14. A plat of blocks 1, 2, and 3, Hoppy Drive and Zerk Avenue of Lake Ridge Edition, a subdivision of the irregular tracts 1 and 2 in the northwest border of section 10, P103 north, range 60 west of the 5th PM, city of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota. Talk to us, Neil.
Okay, on page 47, you see the drawing. This remember comes before you. I think it was last meeting or maybe the meeting before when Ethan Lumber Master Plan came before you, and then the last council meeting, the council approved an annexation of this property. Now this is actually the plat of that property, and the reason it will be annexed in. Now this is actually platting the streets and the blocks of the phase 1. What will be coming at a later date will be the rezoning of the property to a planned unit development. So that will be forthcoming. But this is another step in this process, and so that's what's for you. I thought, oh, Dan here. Yep, he's here. He's got more specific questions, but again, this will be pretty close to what was already annexed, and this way they can start at some point selling lots off once all the engineering is completed and so forth. So.
Well, and I think we have all seen what these folks can do with the project that they've been working on the south side of Mitchell. Is there any question or comment that you'd like to make to us?
No, not right at the time, unless you've got any questions for me, but that's the phase that we're going through first. Hopefully that'll go fast enough, and then there'll be number 2 and number 3.
Okay. So we kind of understand what you're up to out there and with the housing market going
We're working to propel things fast, yes. We need to keep moving. The window will be kind of narrow here.
Any other questions from the drainage is good? Or is it-
All those items are still forthcoming. The reason we're not asking for the engineered plans as part of this process, because there will be a developer's agreement with them in the city. And before any building permits are approved, we'll need to have that agreement and those types of things in line.
And you haven't had any issues with them in the past with, stuff not getting in on a timely manner or anything like that?
Nope, and they won't be able to connect onto our facilities until all this is taken care of. So there's plenty of checks and balances in line for this to be approved.
And there's a history there that they have done a nice job before. So I think
Thank you.
personally, I don't see an issue with the thing here. But that's just my opinion. Do I hear a motion to approve? I'll make a motion to approve. Moved in second,
Doug?
that the five be approved as provided. Is there discussion on the motion? And, Mr. Sonny, I assume you guys are working with them. Correct. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. Neil, we gotta go roll call on this one.
Okay. Sure. Osterloo,
Yes.
Genslinger,
Yes.
Dursa,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Malumbi, and Sunny.
Motion carries, and we are on to.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming in. Final approval for Holiday Gas Station at 1821 South Bird in the Highway Business District.
On the last two pages of your packet is basically, my understanding, if John can correct me, is all they're doing is just interior remodeling. And so that's why it's before you, and it's in the HP district, so I don't believe they're adding any additional space.
Did I see anything from them yet? On the Ethan one? Yeah.
No, Holiday.
Holiday,
Holiday.
last sheet.
They got me a preliminary, it's all, most of it's interior coffee machines and work, but with that comes a fair amount of plumbing, electricity. That's why I pushed, I probably wouldn't have had it right from it, but with the amount of electrical and plumbing that goes in there, that total matter if I want to see all that, yep.
Does this require a stamp?
What's that?
Does it require a stamp? Stamp drawings?
No. City guys,
They're not changing the use?
engineering staff, you got any issues with them?
Nope, it's all interior, so we have no
They're
comment.
replacing the coffee makers that are there, the new ones, and hot machine and whatever it is.
Yeah, they're gonna have
There's a bunch of it in there.
Yeah.
Some of it was the old subway stuff, they moved that around. That stuff, it seems like convenience store, all that stuff will last very long.
Yeah. Any questions? Hearing none, I assume we are ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded that finally approved, they'll be talking with John quite a bit, so you guys don't get to see this, we make the decision on this one.
But we should.
Is it the right one?
Any more questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, I should be ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.